when I'm speaking to my colleagues and I'm
Right.
trying to get that banter and those sort of really lightweight conversations going, I end up having to look for my phone and getting like sending a WhatsApp audio
Right.
message. It's not ideal. I mean, it works, but you
Right.
still, as a remote worker, you still yearn for those conversations, don't you?
Right, that's exactly right. And I think you hit the nail on the head. And if you actually think about what is driving a lot of this as well is not just the remote work movement, but also what I call sort of the consumerization of the workplace. Our expectations have changed in a way where in our social and consumer lives with our friends, we might be hanging out in Discord, or we might be in house party, or we might be sending Instagram stories. And then the minute you come into work, the only sort of incarnation of video in the workplace happens to be a conference call, which is incredibly boring, has a whole bunch of issues with it in terms of how it's run, how it's structured. And so it's almost as if we have already used all of these expectations in social and consumer apps. And why can't I have the same kind of casual interaction, those micro interactions, that banter in the workplace? And so to some degree, we think it's even more important because of expectations being changed, and the fact that we're all moving to an increasingly remote and distributed future. It's enabling these micro interactions, getting short form FaceTime, the ability to sort of express myself over audio and video with the tone and context becomes super important. And the one thing I would also add is I think there's too much emphasis being placed on sort of productivity and
Yeah.
how do you make teams productive
Yes.
and how do we drive like more efficiency. And I almost think productivity is sort of an emergent behavior of trust. If you had a team where everybody had like a high degree of trust, there's like a lot of social bonding, camaraderie, and alignment, you're naturally going to be more productive. You're going to trust
Absolutely.
people doing their jobs. You're going to be more aligned. So I think there's got to be a shift, and we think there is a shift happening where we've got to think in terms of sort of social cohesion. We've got to think in terms of trust. We've got to think in terms of alignment and culture. And how do you put in the tools in place? How do you hire for those characteristics? How do you build the team with that as sort of your foundational principle? And then productivity and efficiency and all of that has got to be sort of emergent byproducts of building out that organization.